Okay, so my refutation presentation is in response to Joshua, and his claim was tablets allow students to perform better in schools. His secondary claims were the resources that tablets give students far outweigh the potential distraction. Tablets allow students to save money, and tablets allow students to perform better on standardized tests. My response to his first claim, he said that we can train ourselves to focus when we have tablets or electronics. And he quoted a psychologist saying that using the devices smartly, but we can concentrate as you need to when you want to. And the main line there is when you want to, because sometimes you don't want to pay attention to what the teacher is saying. You're focused on your tablet and then the apps. And on ProCon website, it says students may pay attention to apps. 4 to 5 students aged 8 to 18 multitask while using digital media. Another claim to that one is textbooks don't crash, freeze, or get hacked. So that's another problem. To the secondary claim involving money, he says electronic books are cheaper, but tablets can get stolen. So you would have to buy another one, and then all your ebooks are there. And he also stated that textbooks weigh a lot, but you don't carry all of them at once. So, yeah. Also on the ProCon website, they said if we have tablets in schools, we have to train teachers and administration to use the technology, and that costs more money. Also build new Wi-Fi infrastructure. Lee Wilson, a prominent education marketing expert, estimated the annual cost per student per class with tablets to be $71.55 versus $14.26 for a print textbook.
No reason.
The response to the third claim that he says that students perform better on tests is tablets let students to cut corners on homework, and then they tend to cheat, and they shift their focus off learning from the teacher to use the technology. And there are more excuses to not do homework on the tablets. I don't know if you guys have ever used the excuse of my dog ate my homework, or the printer wasn't working so I couldn't do my homework. But instead of saying that, for your tablet you can say it froze, or it's not working properly, can I do it later? So in conclusion, the distraction is you pay attention to apps than the teacher, and then you confuse, and then you ask around like, what did he say, or what did she say? And money, the tablets can get stolen, so it's kind of evens out, like buying the books or the tablets, and also building the new Wi-Fi infrastructure, and teaching or training teachers and administration to learn and be able to work with it. And also it lets kids cheat and cut corners and not do what they're supposed to do. Thank you.
All right, the claim and the secondary issues are labeled clearly. On the first point, the notion that we have to train people to focus, but it's when you want to. I think what you need to do is develop a little bit of an argument here that talks about why people don't want to, and it's not hard to find information that suggests that people engage in distracting behaviors when they have that opportunity. I mean, you could ask any one of your instructors. How are you? There. You could ask any one of your instructors how many times a day they look around and see somebody on their cell phone, their apps, listening to something. I'm going to have to shoot people. You know, I'm not allowed to say that. That would sound like a threat, and you guys might be intimidated by that. I'm just going to have to flunk people. That's it. You know? I want you to listen to your classmates and that sort of thing. I think the idea about the multitasking thing, I thought you did a good job presenting that argument, and you had some nice evidence on that particular point. So that worked really well. The cost issue is an interesting point. I don't know how you had this one comparison that you made, an estimate of 71.55 versus 14 and some change, and I didn't really understand how that comparison was made and where that data came from. But it certainly sounds like it suggests that there is still an advantage to staying away from the tablets. Some of the other problems that you mentioned, they're just hypothetical potential kinds of issues. And by the way, books get stolen too, so that's not an issue. I did think that you had a reasonable point. Look, worrying about the weight of the books is not that big a point. I'm sitting here listening and say, well, if you lost your tablet, then you lose all your books. That's not generally the way those ebooks work. You know, that you download it, you can only download it that way. It's all that, you got cloud access and all that sort of thing. So I'm not sure that that point works, but it's a legitimate press to be making at that particular point. You know, so I thought you did a pretty good job coming up with the issues that apply here. I think you needed better evidence on those points, and I think that you needed to respond to the grounds that the advocate was talking about a little bit more. But they're pretty reasonable points, and unfortunately, it's ironic that my stupid phone gave a notification in the middle of your speech. I apologize for that. It should have been turned off. They should be turned off. Just a